Hey guys, it's me, Valkyrie Rage, coming out with yet another video. Now I wanted to give you guys a war recap, but I simply just didn't want to do that. So I sat there and thought for 3 hours, what can I do? What content can I release? Seeing how I was kind of blad this morning, I haven't been thinking about much content over the week. But in the last 3 hours, I finally gotten it, and I've also been able to slick in a slick war recap while we do it. Obviously, guys, you know what you're here for. You're here to improve yourselves, and by yourselves, I mean my Town Hall 8s. And this conversation or this video can go on particularly long. These are going to give you some general war tips on how to become better at war. If you aren't the most generalized war player and you're just now watching this video to get into war, if you're trying to learn how to 3-star max Town Hall 8s when you're not even maxed, I'm going to show you the tips, the guides, and the how-tos to how to do so. So I hope you guys stay tuned for this. Alright, so at the beginning, let's talk a little bit. Town Hall 8 is one of the most infamous town halls. One of the most, if not the greatest town hall to be at, honestly. Well, I wouldn't say it's technically the greatest town hall to be at for troop wise, to use different troops, but otherwise you're gonna understand what I mean by this when I keep talking. Okay, so basically once you become Town Hall 8, you're open to a lot of array of text, not just go white, but go valo, go ho, and go vaho, and all this other stuff. Lunians, for some reason, I know a lot of people rarely use Lunian as a war tech. I've rarely even seen it. We're actually very rare, but if someone's able to 3-star with it, then yeah, then it comes Town Hall 8 max dragons. Besides Town Hall 7s, you got a couple of stronger dragons, so they start using those. It starts opening up brilliantly windows, and hey, even though they're starting to become a leniency to what Town Hall 8 can do, Town Hall 8 is still one of the premium Town Hall 8s in the game, and moving on to Town Hall 9, they're still a boss. So with that being said, Town Hall 8 is when you should start being pro at your war game, and that's particularly when I started to come up at war. That's when I started to know what to do. That's when I learned on my own, and basically what I mean by that is just particularly going at war, it doesn't really teach you much. You just can't learn just by going into war and trying to get 3-stars with just dragons. So like I'm saying, you Town Hall 8's just coming from Town Hall 7, going at war with just level 3 dragons won't teach you much. And then balling in with go wipe, although it can sometimes 3, even max Town Hall 8's, it just isn't enough. Sometimes go wipe can be a little bit too slow, sometimes your P.E.K.K.A.s die a little bit too early, and it just fails you all the time. That's why a lot of Town Hall 8's drift from go wipe. And I know when you first hit Town Hall 8, go wipe is the first thing you want to do, because now you got these golems, and you also have to take out the super ultra mega damage dealing P.E.K.K.A.s. Now with that being said, still, there's plenty of other variety of tags you can be using, guys. You can mix in the Valkyries. The Valkyries back then weren't the hottest thing. Now, if you're using the Valkyrie at Town Hall 8, it's more implied that you get those Valkyries to level 2 early of now, because now those are going to help you more. I know a lot of Town Hall 9s and everything that doesn't even have level 2 Valkyries. Now they seem to be slowing behind, because these Town Hall 9s and stuff, they can't even 3-star in other Town Hall 9s, but if they had Valkyries, I'm sure they could, because that's a thing. It's a troop to build around, and Town Hall 8 starts to get a ton of troops to build around as soon as they blast off Town Hall 7. The only thing you have to build around in Town Hall 7 is nothing. Yeah, that's right, nothing, because you don't have golems, you don't have anything at all. I guess you can try to do some type of giant dragon or go. The only hybrid attack I would say is the most prominent at Town Hall 7 is Gohan or Dragon Rider. That's basically just dragons and Hog Riders, which isn't really used at Town Hall 7 at all. So with that being said, basically Town Hall 7 is the town hall where you get to build around troops at. It's basically introducing you to Town Hall 9 build-arounds, Town Hall 10 build-arounds. It's telling you how to use hybrid attacks. Just this one troop, these dragons aren't going to be 3-starring anymore, especially on any max Town Hall 8s. Although there's been cases where Town Hall 8s have been 3-starred by level 3 dragons, most likely they won't be anymore, or at least it'll just get a bit harder. That being said, like I was saying, troops to build around. Once you turn to Town Hall 8, once you start to get those Hog Riders at level 4, you realize you can implement that with golems and wizards. It becomes a hybrid attack, and that's pretty awesome. You've now got a couple of troops to build around, and it's become heavily so. And then once you unlock Valkyries, once you see a couple of attacks, once you see somebody on the enemy team attacking you, oh my God, this guy just 3-starred me with Valkyries. That open your mind to want to think that Valkyries are reliable, and back then they weren't as much as the most popular has made Valkyries more viable. So that means that troop has become even more heavily able to be built around. It has slightly less HP, but a heavy increase in health. In hit points. Oh my God, I said it again. Okay, so a little nice increase in damage, and it also attacks a lot faster, which gives its damage an even more buff. So, with that being said, you've now got your balloons and everything. It becomes a little bit more reliable once you see a couple of more prominent attackers attack you. Now, building a .5 is the most prominent way you can learn to start doing war a lot faster. Although it's a little bit of a rash, because once you're doing .5, you're only focusing heavily on war, and you're only upgrading troops that help you on war, which may kind of slow you down at farming, unless you're going to farm with some war troops and then get a crazy ton of loot near one meal, I guess. But that's typically isn't the case at most points. Look how slow these guys are. Like, this is kind of 3-star anyways, but still, particularly the war as it goes on, you want to build, like, I say you guys who are .5 right now, say if you're .5 and if you already know about Town Hall .5, you already got your level 4 hogs or whatever, and for some reason before you go to .5, you think it's okay to build level 3 dragons. Well, yeah, you can build level 3 dragons, but you're kind of wasting a few days to put something in the thing just because you still want to be useful at war. Well, think about it this way: if you're building a .5, which is the ultimate strategy these days, basically you want to try to get those defenses up. People like to get their defenses up before war, when that's basically isn't the case. A lot of .5 rules would tell you to make sure you have an offense that can totally decimate your defense, and that is true. That is a good thing to have, because your counter base on the war scale, say if you're number 10 and another number 10, that makes that their counter base. So if you're not getting the reference, that being said, that means your counter base will be extremely weak, and which means you can easily 3-star him, which means you're now a just barely off Town Hall 7, and you're 3-starring these max Town Hall 8s, and you got this other clan that really black. That means because you're 3-starring these max Town Hall 8s higher up, that gives the guys higher up a better chance to 3-star the guys lower down. Now, I know just because you have max Town Hall 8 troops does not mean you can 3-star other max Town Hall 8s. It takes time, it takes strategy, it takes planning. Everything won't work for the same base. That's why you take different strategies, you take different things. One attack may not work for the other, and just because that attack didn't work doesn't mean somebody else can see your flaws and change up an attack from a different side of the base, and with the same attack will still 3-star. It's just all depends. All attacks depend on everything. Like I said, just training, just learning your troops. Try Valkyries if you haven't already. You might want to start getting those guys upgraded if you're .5ing, because Valkyries are beasts. They're monsters, and I wouldn't be using them in low open style bases with a lot of compartments. Try to use those Valkyries on any high giant fat compartment like this one kind of does have, and you can just use the earthquake to bridge right in it, but just make sure you clear it out on the side first. But anyways, now you've got these troops to build around. You've got your wizards that help to complement troops. You've got your archers that help with the cleanup and complement troops. You've got your king, which you also kind of sort of build around, but you kind of forget about in the first place. So making sure you implement these upgrades, upgrading your army, upgrading everything, just isn't the key anymore. It's upgrading just your army for war if you want to start coming off and knocking off these stars. Now, coming from this, if you guys aren't really thinking about, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, well, I'm in a clan sitting with over 200 stars, and myself, as a Town Hall 8, I have over a whopping 600 stars. So yes, that means I kind of, or rather relatively know what I'm talking about when I say this. I mean, this isn't just some short how-to guide to where, hey, I come in this, I didn't learn anything, I'm going to go back out and say, hey, forget this guy, I don't like him. So, with that being said, I'm just trying to make a goal for all the Town Hall 8s in the Clash of Clans now, to help you guys find a little bit of a more welcoming home. Check out this Goho. This guy, Blitzkrieg, he's a higher Town Hall than me. I believe he's the first Town Hall in the clan, first Town Hall 8 in max defenses in the clan. But that doesn't mean just because his defenses are higher than mine, or for some reason the war scales his defenses higher than mine, doesn't mean he's better than me. That doesn't mean anything. That I'm trying to get you guys to realize that just because it's a higher Town Hall in your clan and he's flashing and flexing on you because his defenses are higher, if your attack is higher than his, if you're starting to brand off more 3-stars than him, he can't tell you anything, because now your war troops are heavily guarded, they're ready to go, they're ready to keep moving, and you're just bringing out more stars. You got more war stars than this guy now. And over the past few months, you're starting to outshine him, and he can't tell you anything. But although your defense is weak, think about this. Would you rather give up 3 stars for 6 stars, or would you rather give up 3 stars for about 1-star attacks? Because it just all depends. Like, if you're checking out those bases with the double bombs, Goho might be the best entry. If you're doing a cleanup attack, Goho may be the even greater entry, because you know where the double bombs are, you know how to drop your quake spells or where to set your bombers down. your wall breakers, I mean, I said bombers off a Clash Royale reference, but anyway, you guys get it. Okay, so you know where your wall breakers are, and it's just easy. It becomes a lot easier to start doing what you're doing. And a lot of people in my clan have starting to step away from the the go white, because the go white wasn't the best strategy, I would seem, and a lot of people are smashing it down with go ho. There's one other guy besides me that's implementing Valkyries. I'm not sure if he was using them back in this war, but I'm pretty sure I heard him request about a day or two ago for level 3 Valkyries, because there's nobody in my clan with max Valkyries, because like I said, there's a lot of guys I know that haven't even implemented to upgrade these, because back then they weren't the hottest thing in the world. So with that being said, like I'm trying to say, just try to step away from the go wipe. And I'm not saying it's a terrible attack. Obviously, like I said before, you can still manage to 3-star max Town Hall 8 bases with just a typical go wipe. But there's so much things you can do now. Because of the nerf to poison spell, the troops kind of run out. There's so much things can go on your CC. There's so much things you can put in your clan castle for a go wipe. You can take witches if you want. You can take, well, there's not many clans that would take witches for a go wipe anymore, because the nerf to witches and the traps, which was the best thing in the first place. So you can take witches, you can take now the level 6 hog riders, you can even take more wizards. There's a lot of things you can take. Heck, I've even seen people take Pekkas ho, so that makes it a go ho peck, I guess. I don't know, a go peck ho, I don't know. But anyways, I've seen people implement a lot of things. I would usually take the, because it helps a lot, because I take about 12 hog riders with my go ho to implement the extra 6 in the back. That makes about 18. So with that being said, it kind of gives you help. It kind of gives you a boost. And the hogs on the back end cleaning up, which kind of implements why go ho was always a fail, because going deeper into these bases, you would start to fail. Now you would see this go wipe right here. It's because this base has wide open crevices. Why this attack worked, because the troops are in the back, they're cleaning up, they're not going to die off. But if this base had a ton of compartments, this go ho would have been slowed down a ton. Now typically, you don't want your troops to be slowed down, because either it's because your troops in the back have died, your wizards are all gone, or you just don't have enough troops to typically clean up. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys like to implement better strategies and think other ways. If you guys want another guide, if you guys think this guy hasn't been in depth, please let me know, because I can make this guy a ton of more in depth. I just want to give you guys the basic rundown, the basic feelings of how this is going to go. Well, that's it, guys. I'm Valkyrie Rage, chilling out here on Masters of Clash, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. And don't forget to clash on, Clashers. That's it from me today, guys. We're going to let this attack play out, and bye-bye.